What's up, y'all? We're back again, and this one is straight heat. Let's talk about what's going on with Tiffany Henyard. Now, before we even get into this mess, y'all need to know Tiffany Henyard is out here selling a book. Yup, a whole book. And guess how much she's charging? $100. 100. And let's be real, that thing probably only got 3 pages in it. Maybe a front and back cover, and it's probably formatted like a brochure. But she's selling it like it's gold. And the real reason she's broke now? All her positions, she ain't got no more income, and she's trying to find some quick cash. She used to be raking in almost $300,000 a year, and now she's sitting on zero. So this book, it's her survival plan. She knows she's likely headed to jail, and she needs commissary money fast. Now she claims the book sold out, but come on, we know the truth. Ain't nobody buying that. If anything, she probably bought those few copies herself just so she could run with that sold-out narrative. Let's be honest, if you only drop 3 books and you buy 3 books, that technically counts. A sold out, but nobody's fooled by that. Now, before we jump into the real heat, quick shout out to the homies pushing fashion out the city. You know what it is? Support your people. It's more than fashion. It's a lifestyle. But anyway, back to Tiffany. Now here's where it gets wild. Within just a 2-day span, Tiffany has 5, maybe even 10 lawsuits lined up. It's kind of hard to say because some of the names are duplicated on the docket. Say this. She got at least 5 different legal battles coming up, all in 2 days. So let's start from the bottom. First up, the Dalton Professional Firefighters Association. And if you remember this from last year, it was a whole mess. A group of firefighters pulled up to the village meeting in Dalton and straight up said, "We're not getting paid. Y'all are taking money out of our checks, and it's not even going to our insurance or our retirement funds." They kept asking questions, where's the money going? But never got any answers. So you know what they did? They hit her with a lawsuit. One firefighter named Adam Furrick, who's been with the village for over a decade and is the union rep, for a local 3766, spoke out. He said most of the firefighters are scared to speak publicly because of retaliation, but they're still filing grievances. He said deductions for retirement that were supposed to go to Nationwide haven't been happening. Plus, firefighters are now having health insurance issues because premiums haven't been paid by the village. Claims are being denied, insurance is lapsing. It's a full-on mess. So yeah, once again, Tiffany is allegedly stealing money. And at this point, nobody's shocked. This is just who she's always been. Get into office, run up the check, and ignore everybody who questions it. She's already got a record of blowing taxpayer money like it's monopoly cash. She was even bypassing the trustees signing checks on her own, spending recklessly. At one point, she spent almost $50,000 in a single day on Amazon. Like, what are you buying? Wigs. Are wigs costing $50,000 now? This is what we're dealing with? But let's move on. Next lawsuit, David Duval. His case is kind of similar to the firefighters' lawsuit. He used to be the union leader for the fire department until Tiffany had him ousted. So now he's got a lawsuit too, based on how she treated him. Everything she did was reportedly egregious, and now he wants justice. In that case, also on July 1st, just like the firefighter lawsuit, that means she's got 2 separate court cases on the same day. And if you've ever been to court, you already know 2 appearances in one day is wild. But wait, there's more. The third one, Edgar County Watchdogs, is also scheduled for July 1st. Yep, that's 3 court dates in one day. She's going to be running back and forth between courtrooms like it's a track meet. And if those court times overlap, she's in trouble. If I was the judge and she missed my court, it's straight contempt. You're going to jail, no questions asked. So here's what that one's about. Edgar County Watchdogs filed a lawsuit against the village after Tiffany's administration ignored Freedom of Information Act FOIA requests. They were trying to get spending records from back in January, and she never responded. They kept following up, asking for documentation. Nothing. Just delay after delay. So what did they do? Took her to court. It's plain and simple. Now here comes another lawsuit. This one is from a guy named Jeff. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. It starts with Devris, but we'll just call him Jeff. And yes, Jeff got legal smoke for Tiffany too. Another case, another court date. And judging by the pileup of legal action, we're just getting started. All right, so let's talk about this next one, Jeff. Now, I'm not too familiar with this case in detail, but here's what I do know. I got the paperwork. Not about to sit here and read all 10 pages to y'all because, honestly, that's not happening. But if you really want to dive in deep, hit pause on each page and read it yourself. Do your homework. Get the full spectrum. I highly recommend that. But for now, we're moving on to the next wild story. From what I understand, this one involves Tag Group Investments. So apparently, there was this woman who owned a bar/restaurant, and she'd been trying to get her liquor licenses approved. She followed all the steps, did everything right, and even got a court order in her favor. Last November or December, I believe. The judge told Tiffany to sign off and give her those licenses. But Tiffany never did. So naturally, that business owner sued. Now it's lawsuit number 5. The third time this year that case has hit a Cook County judge. But this time, the owners finally walked out with 2 out of the 3 liquor licenses they applied for. And Tiffany, she's now facing a serious contempt charge from the judge. This woman, Tiffany Henyard, left the courtroom with what she should have had months ago: licenses to operate St. Patrick's family-owned restaurant and banquet hall on Lincoln Avenue in Dalton. And it should have been handled back in November, but no. Tiffany Henyard, who was not only mayor, but also served as the liquor commissioner, refused to hand over the paperwork. The judge gave her a hard deadline: sign the licenses by 5 p.m. Thursday. She didn't. So on Friday, Tiffany shows up in court, and after some back and forth, she finally signs. But because of her behavior and court-dodging questions, talking in circles, the judge found her in indirect criminal contempt. She didn't go to jail that day, but the warning was loud and clear. And that's the problem. This is exactly why checks and balances matter. When someone is allowed to hold too much power, it turns into dictatorship. This woman was both mayor and liquor commissioner. So if she didn't like you, she could just block your business license. No accountability. Maybe she wanted your land, or maybe she just didn't like you. Doesn't matter. She had the power to shut you down, and she used it however she felt. And that's dangerous. Because when there's nobody in place to check that kind of power, the system breaks. And in this case, it broke hard. There should have been someone in position to say, "Nah, you can't play both sides." But she was calling all the shots, and no one stopped her. And let's not act surprised. Illinois has been known for corruption for a long time, like decades, way before our time, back in the Al Capone era even. So this just falls right into that legacy. It's like how McDonald's is known for burgers, Dallas for the Cowboys, Chicago for the Bulls, New York for the Yankees, and Illinois known for crooked politicians. So yeah, it fits. And it's honestly wild that nobody stepped in sooner. Tiffany, you were dead wrong. You've been wrong. And the thing is, it's all catching up to you now. The roosters are starving in there, coming home to roost, and you better get ready. Because this isn't going to be pretty. You need to start preparing right now. Take that weave out your head. Get used to not having all those luxuries. Start doing push-ups. Work on your burpees. Get your wind up. Start programming your mind for what's next. Because when you land in there, it's going to be a whole different world. You're spoiled, you're used to power, you're used to control, but in there, nah, you're not calling shots anymore. You're not running anything, and I don't think you're built for it. You talk a good game, but I've never seen you walk that talk. When it's time to survive without status or title, I just don't think you've got it in you. So yeah, Tiffany, you've trashed for all of this for years, and now it's all falling apart. Anyway, that's all I got on this one. Y'all hit that like button, hit the share, subscribe, drop something in the comments. Tell me what you think. What else should we talk about? What do you want to see? I'll respond to you, always. And haste, safe out there. Stay focused. And don't ever forget, the streets are watching. Always. And one more thing, support your people. Keep it real, neighborhood.